Well, hello, and welcome to my first YouTube video. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about trains. This channel is not going to be all about trains, I promise you that. But for my first idea, I wanted to talk about my first time hopping a freight train. So this was like less than a year after I graduated high school, which was May 2016. Dang, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I think it was in like 2017. I had been traveling and getting my miles on through hitchhiking and Craigslist ride shares. So I was hitchhiking and I was in Arizona, and I was in a little town called Kingsman, visiting a buddy of mine that I went to high school with. And before that I was in Las Vegas. I went up there from LA. And so I'm leaving, spent a few days in Kingman, not Kingsman, Kingman, Arizona. Spent a few days in Kingman with my friend, and so I'm leaving Kingman. Hitchhike, right? Like kind of not downtown Kingman, but we're right next to the In-N-Out. Hitchhiked with my thumb out for like 2 hours, maybe more. It was a while. Finally got a ride, and got a ride to this town right on the border of Arizona and California along the 40. It's right along the river. I'm not gonna try to remember the name right now, but maybe I'll insert a clip with the map. But so we get there, and then I think I also hitchhiked from there. I spent the night walking around there, and must have camped or something. I do not remember. This was like, it's 2021. This was like 2017. That's 4 years ago. Around 4 years ago. We're in Laughlin. We just got dropped off like 20 minutes ago. Hitchhiked straight from Kingman. Woke up pretty late today. It took us forever to get out of Kingman. We got the Colorado right here, right behind us. Right by the Colorado River. The weather's perfect. I think it was like in the spring. But let's see. So that place on the border, hitchhike from there, get a ride to this town called Needles, California. It's a crew change town for the trains. So the trains coming in from, I believe they'd come from Flagstaff, and that's about, the train crews can't drive and operate the train for more than 12 hours, I believe. 10, anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. I guess it depends on the train line. So they have to change the crews, and they have special towns, certain towns throughout the states that they're designated crew change towns. And how I figured out this information, was watching YouTube videos from Hobo Stobe, and various articles on Reddit, on the Vagabond subreddit, and just researching and trying to find out as much info as I could. So I remember hitchhiking, and we get to Needles right before dark. Might have been a couple hours before dark because I charged my phone and I charged all my electronics while I was there. And I get dropped off right at the McDonald's. I'm checking the map and I'm seeing where the train yard is. And you know, after a couple hours at McDonald's, just lounging around, you know, charging my stuff up, I say it's time to leave. It's time to go and head to the train yard. Figured out where it was. Figured everything out on the map. So I was gonna go and wait. I'm walking out of the McDonald's, and as I'm walking out, I exit the door, and there's this guy, probably like 6 years older than me at the time, maybe not, at the most 6 years, and he has a dog and a big backpack, just like me. And yeah, I had my dog at the time. Her name was Luna, and we traveled together sometimes. Sometimes I'd leave her home. Yeah, I passed by them, and I was walking. I didn't get very far, and then I turned around, and I was like, I went back and started talking to him. And I'm like, hey man, what's up? I'm like, I don't know, what are you doing? What are you up to? You got a bag, it looks like you're traveling. And he's like, yeah, I think he said he was from there. But he said he's, I'm looking to hop on a freight train, man. And I'm like, oh really? I'm like, me too, I'm actually heading to the train yard right now. And he's like, oh really, man? He's like, so you've done it before? I'm like, no, I haven't. But I've done a lot of research, and I know that this is, you know, I told him what I knew. He's like, well, can I come with? Or he's like, can we go together? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. And so he stays at the McDonald's for a little while, maybe like 10 minutes, get some food, and he meets up with a friend too. And then we head out together to the train yard. Maybe about, it wasn't too far of a walk from the McDonald's, but get to the train yard. It's like super late at night, and the funny thing about all this is, if you ever look into train hopping, every single piece of advice that anyone's gonna give you is never go alone for your first time. Go with someone who has experience. And here we are, two inexperienced people who've never done it before, and we're going together, and we have dogs. So that's a little funny fact about the whole thing. And so we get to the train yard, and remember passing by this truck, and we thought it was the yard. We thought it was the yard bull, but we didn't even know. We passed right behind his truck, and I even think he was in there. Someone was in that truck. And then we walked behind what I believe now to be is the yard office. But yeah, we're pretty deep in the yard. I'm like we should go in deeper and try to find, like, we went to find like this kind of hobo jungle-ish part of the yard where there's like nature and trees, and like there was like a place to kind of hide-ish. And so we're sitting there, and I don't remember what happened. I think a train pulled up. I don't remember what happened, but a train maybe pulled up. I don't know, we decided to start getting on the train. There was a few that were stopped. And so we walked over the first train that we were on. We walk up to the string of cars. And we don't know which way it's going. I don't even remember, but we load our dogs onto the train first. So you've got these ladders, you know, you walk up to the train, and the train that we were getting on at the moment was a double stacks. They're called double stacks, or intermodals. And they're the ones with the two boxes on top of each other. And they're just really long, and the boxes are like different colors. And on the sides of each box, so the box is in its own car, the box, and then like the car extends a little bit out, and then in between the box and like the rest of the car, there's a little space that's about maybe like 8 feet by 8 feet wide. No, 8 feet long by maybe 3 feet wide, and it's about maybe 2 feet deep. And so they're as deep as from where I'm sitting to like my shoulder height, just about. And so we look for one because not all of them have floors. Some of them are just hollow at the bottom, and like you climb right in and you're gonna go straight to the floor. So we looked for one that was solid, and we find it and we throw our dogs on, and then we climb on, and then we're on opposite ends of the train, so we're like facing each other. I'm sitting this way and he's sitting that way. I think at the moment though we were both in the same one, because the first train that we got on is not the one that ended up taking off. We were sitting on this train for a little bit, and then another train rolls in, and the good thing about this train, I remember vividly, is it rolled in from east and it was heading west, because I remember looking at the tracks and I'm like, this is going to Barstow, which would be the next crew change, and that's heading in the direction we want to go, because I don't want to go back to Arizona. I'm trying to go home at this time. So we see that train come, and we were maybe sitting on that other train for like, I don't even know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, not very long. And so that train comes in, I'm like, this is our train. And so we do the whole thing again. We get our dogs and we like let them down. We hand them to each other down the ladders, and we both have pretty big dogs. I had like maybe like a 60-pound like a husky mix-ish dog, and he had like a dog of equivalent weight that was like maybe a pit bull breed. And we're handing our dogs down to each other, off, like from the top of the train, and I'm on the bottom. And then we're getting on this train, and yeah, we get on, we put our stuff on, and we sit on it, and we both go to our respective sides. And I do have a video of this, so I will be inserting that into somewhere around here, maybe right there would be a good time. And yeah, so after like 10-15 minutes of waiting, and we're talking all the while, and we first time being on the train, when it's starting to go, you'll hear the air from the brakes release, and there'll be a hissing. It'll just be like a actually that might be the air releasing, because there's a different one. And there's, which is the train getting ready to go, and then a which is like stopping. And so it started going, or the air started going, and then all of a sudden you got like a big jolt, just like that. Yeah, the train just like jolts. It's a pretty rough jolt, and then we're off. We start slowly moving, and I remember being so hyped. We on this. This thing's on. Yeah. This is dope. Finally on a train. And come to think of it, this was in the winter. I think it was like in the winter or spring, because it was pretty cold. When I look at the Instagram videos, I'll be able to tell the time frame. But yeah, so there we were on our way. Such a beautiful ride into the desert. The Mojave Desert, I believe is what it is. From Needles to Barstow. It took us about 8 hours, and it was all overnight. Stayed awake for like the first maybe hour or so, or two, and then drifted off to sleep. Woke up. kind of rough sleeping on freight trains. They're pretty shaky, and more than that, they're loud. And at the time, didn't wear earplugs, and yeah, wish I would have known about that sooner. But yeah, every train trip I go on now, I get these disposable shooting range plugs. I just pop them in, and they make life so much better. They make the train ride so much more enjoyable. But yeah, the stars over the desert were magnificent. The air. I rode Dirty Face. So Dirty Face is the train is going this way, and I'm sitting like this, and the train box is behind me, and the train's going that way, and my friend is on this side. He's facing my way, and the train is on his back. So he's got the box, like as a shield from the wind, and then all the wind is coming through, and it's coming to me. And so we call that right Dirty Face. And I didn't know at the time either, and it was a pretty cold one. It was a pretty cold ride for the time that I wasn't in my sleeping bag. But yeah, eventually just ended up getting my sleeping bag and sleeping. And he got off in Barstow. I don't know if he got off the train, because the train was gonna, I'm pretty sure it was gonna keep on going north. I don't even know. I don't even remember. But I don't even remember what I did after getting off in Barstow. I don't know how I got home. But yeah, the train ride, it was nice. And that's my first train trip. And I think that's it for this story. How long has this video been going on for? 17 minutes? Might have to edit that out a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just upload it just like this with some editing in it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I'm a good storyteller, and you know, yeah, I hope you liked it. If you wanna hear more train hopping stories and hitchhiking stories and crazy, almost near-death experience stories, then subscribe. And if you want to help out the channel and maybe make it get a little more popular, throw a like my way, because it helps the YouTube algorithms. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. And for now, peace.